ranged creeps that were still there underneath the tower. Odo needs to be careful here though. No flash.
Moving back in, wants to heal, wants to dash through. First blood! Supa very confident. That's what I will say about the series thus far. Excellent charm for Fresskowy. Oh! Where's the Fresskowy camp?
We follow together. Supa.
I'm looking.
Okay.
I can hold.
Back, I mean, yes. They are trolling so hard.
I got Maokai. I mean, no, nothing.
Recover.
Okay, he's...
Keep going.
I TP both ways.
Context.
Shield.
Welcome back as Mad Lions come back as well here in this series against GX. Come back. But guys, for me, the simple word here is stomp. Stomp for GX in the first game, stomp for MDK in the second game. No consistency for both teams. But yeah, what did we think of Mad Lions coming back and the way they did it as well?
Yeah, I mean, I still think like it was like kind of GX in the early game where it did feel like they were going to repeat the first game they had. Odo with a solo kill, like 7 minutes into the game, he's 600 gold up. But then it just starts falling apart. 1.1, like some of individual mistakes starts coming through. And that's really where the stomp starts happening, because as soon as MDK just gets a little bit of ahead, they don't stop. And it's kind of just of the nature of the two games we've had here. Whoever gets a strong early game lead just runs away with the game.
Yeah, and basically how all the team fights sort of panned out was they would use all their tools. Supa would then have no threats on him. Fresskowy would find these insane flanks, and Supa could then pull the trigger, use his ultimate, keep the uptime up with the auto attacks on the Zeri to keep having the lightning splashes, and he would just run away with the fights.
We have been critical of the lack of creativity on the side of Mad Lions draft here, GB, but it seems to be working for them. So sometimes just coming back to basics, easy to execute compositions, Fresskowy in flanking position as well. That's what they want to do here, at least.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't expect that from them, at least in the beginning, but I also think the way that Patrik was also just put out of the game, I think he was almost 3k down at this point in the game. It's just impossible for you to fight as well. The Mountain Soul is there too. You don't have your LDR already. Like, how are you cutting through any of that? And you can see it a little bit in the beginning, right? GX, they are finding that little lead, but then they drop it. And as soon as they drop it, I mean, MDK, they just don't look back.
And what comes to mind for me is GIANTX's way. They tried to propel the game forward. They kept investing resources and trying to gank the mini-Gnar, the Gnar in general, but it kept not working out. Gnar would just survive, Mrywn would just survive on little slivers of HP, and they couldn't snowball the game.
But even through all of this, I was still like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
No,
I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I've seen you play these mid games, and this time around, though, they just cleaned it out. Like, there was times where you're like, are you overstaying here? I'm not too sure. But no, they made it work. This is the kind of MDK that we wanted to see, the adaptations that came in play, and you know what they're hoping they can replicate going into the final game in this elimination game.
And man of the hour here in this game, I feel like was the self-proclaimed best AD carry in Europe, Supa himself. Disastrous game 1, coming back clutch here in game 2.
Absolutely, and you can already see it from a stats point of view, right? Like, you look at what he has, right? The damage per minute, 400, it's already doubled here. Damage percentage, true. But the really big one as well, it's the jungle proximity that you're getting, right? 10% in the first game, and part of that was because they were shut down in the first game they tried to make happen. But then here, where Elyoya gets so much more space to play around with, where they have the Nautilus as well to set up plays with this time around into the Rakan, it becomes infinitely easier for them to rally around Supa. And this is what made them the good team they were, at least in winter and part of regular season.
I was about to say, we know what made Mad Lions good in winter. The fact that you want to see Elyoya and Alvaro playing together, enable Supa, maybe a glimpse of what we want to see in game 3 here.
And I definitely think a big part of Supa being able to perform so well was because this frontline was so tanky, because of how well they played early and how fed the frontline actually got you. Sejuani, Nautilus, tanking all the spells, allowing for Supa to run wild.
And you can see it here. You see it on the winter bracket.
It is written.
This is where it started for MDK, wasn't it? This is where the lower bracket run started forming. And they need to make this lower bracket run happen again, because just straight off championship points, they don't have enough this time around if G2 wins. If they want to go to MSI, they need to go further. Winter gets less points than Spring does, so that means BDS Fnatic, way easier for them to overtake MDK. It's not enough for them to qualify from MSI from the position they're currently in. They need more.
I mean, that's the thing. This is the same scenario. Is it the same actors on the Rift? Is it the same team? Is it the same fire that we saw in Spring? What do we want to expect here in this game 3 against MDK, against GX, sorry, because I love what I saw from Mad Lions. He was not the vintage Mad Lions that I was expecting, but it works.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you have the old Mrywn of old, but at least for me, the rest of the team does seem to be doing well. Elyoya still having extremely good games, and with this setup and with the priority through mid, where you can make plays through Fresskowy, him having agency and the team having more agency in the early game, I think that's a great look.
But I also think GX coming into this game, this is going to be the first time we see them on red side as well.
Yeah.
Suddenly we see a lot of adaptations available to them where they get to throw a curveball. They're already the team that gets to have the adaptations because they just straight up lost, right? But now they get to be right, well, we have that mid lane counter pick. Well, we can set Odo up for a good position. Well, we can ban out whatever we want to in the beginning and then take the 1-2 instead. So I think there's a unknowing area that we're going into now that MDK might be a bit worried about being on blue side.
Yeah, and I do wonder what will happen with the Azir priority because both teams are now lost with Azir, and I feel like Jayce has great answers into Azir. He then took the Azir, didn't look too hot on it, dying to ganks early, then dying to side. Maybe he wants to run back comfort. We might just see it run through the draft.
I mean, that's the thing. Last point of Jayce, Eragon, because you set him up quite well ahead of this series. On the Akali pick, we know him for these more volatile picks in the mid lane, but usually carrying the win for GX. Do you want to bet on something that coin flip to bring you the victory?
I absolutely think. I think he's so good on these melee assassin type champions. Even if it's a losing lane, I'd hope he just locks in his comfort and plays for those team fights because I know he can pull it off.
We're getting we're gearing up for the last game. I'm really excited to see who's going to take this one, but I want to ask you guys your pronostics here, 1-1 in this series. Super stomps on either side, but who's going to take the last
I mean, it just feels like a coin flip in that regard when you present it like it's a stomp on stomp, so whose turn is it, right? But we get red side of GX. I don't really know, man. It's so difficult for me to pinpoint this because it just looks like whoever gets the early game going makes the play happen for them going into the mid to late game. So I really feel like we're just going to see the same AD carries, but what's going to change up is the support and the junglers, and those two are going to be making this game. Elyoya and Alvaro making sure that Supa gets ahead, or the underside with Peach and Ignar setting up Patrik.
Give me the Maokai Yone, give me the Silas, give me the Akali, and I'm all in on GIANTX. And if not, then I'm all in on MDK.
It is do or die here. You're for both teams. You want teams to win. We all want teams to win. Gasters, take it away for this elimination game. Last one between MDK and GX.
Full completion of the 6-game day. Coaches exchanging words with each other and with the players on stage. I'm Drakos, that's Dagda. We're a little sleepy, I'm not gonna lie, but I have no doubt that this game will wake us up. And we'll see if Eragon gets what he wants, if it's more comfort picks in mid lane. And I would also like less Azir, just in general. I get why people pick it, it's an insane pick. Probably should always pick it, but would love like a little bit more of an explosive kind of mid lane matchup. Maybe the Yone.
I think it'd also be
Silas.
sick to have Jacky's like grab this niche where it's like, hey, I'm the melee assassin guy. Because
Hey,
you've seen it like across multiple different regions, right? You got like Zeka literally won a world championship off of Cream in the LPL, was kind of known for it as well. Could be just his thing, right? And he even saw him bring it to
Look, all I'm saying
and
is
stuff and look good.
leader no longer in this league. The position of melee champion mid lane enthusiast is open. You know, that role, you know, we're still looking. That could be Jackie's. Room to fill that in. We are just about 30 seconds a minute away from draft here. Players. Smiles on the faces of the side of Mad Lions Koi. That momentum's going to feel good. Because the one thing I will say about MDK is when they have a lead, they're so confident.
They're ruthless.
And sometimes overconfident, most certainly, but that's a team who will not give you time to scale. That's a team who will close a game quickly. Even, you know, if it means higher percentage risk chance, they will just look to end it as quick as possible. Which is something that I think GX are going to have to respect. But as the desk highlighted so far, it's just been get ahead early, win the game. There hasn't been much nuance, much back and forth.
I think we're going to see a bit of a difference in the draft, though, because I do think the comfort picks are now going to start to shine through a little bit more. GIANTX moving over towards the red side as well. We're going to get the same Rumble Varus bans that Mad Lions Koi have stuck to, but do you end up just going, hey, look, it's not worth taking the Azir until our second rotation here as GIANTX, because we know the first guy is happy to play the Ahri, they can lean into bot side. I could end up just changing up where you go third pick instead of looking for it in that first set of rotations.
Ooh, okay, Xayah banned out. Vi's also banned away. What is the prio going to be? GX. Do we... I mean, the Ace looked really good in our first series. I wonder if it shows up here. I kind of just doubt it based on the nameplates, but always putting it out there.
It's definitely a newer pick that you have to put the time into, but we'll have to see what the plan is. I think Rell, definitely high priority.
They're debating if they can get Rell, if they've just... Okay.
Oh, so Zeri just is... They're basically saying take Zeri,
bait. Please take the
or
Zeri.
We end up being able to pick ourselves up some mid lane and jungle after.
If you take Zeri here, they're going to take Rell, and they're probably going to go for the Neela lane like they did last time. Sorry, last time that they played Neela, it was into a Zeri lane, and they really couldn't bully out. So I like the Rell.
Yeah.
It's a good read.
So do you end up taking the Zeri now for yourself as Patrik on that bottom side of the map? Maybe leave it for Supa and Alvaro to go back towards something like a Senna Nautilus lane if you really want to. Senna obviously got hit in the patch. She does kind of need to slot into the I'm not going to farm version of the support or the bot laner, but I think there's still a viable option, especially if you want to take something that's a little bit more damage heavy for Fresskowy in the mid lane.
Yeah. Okay, so the response pick for Peach in the form of the Sejuani, now also the Zeri. So Elyoya just continuously hovering Sivir.
She's got a cool eye patch. She looks great.
Great eye patch. She spins a lot. No, come on.
Supa's played a bit before.
I mean, you need another scaling option. There's not a lot left. Okay, here we go. When your chips are down, when the pressure's on, what do? We scale. Scaling.
I thought it might have been a Felios, but I don't think that makes me feel any better, but it's still...
You gotta go fast. You gotta understand it's the Sonic the Hedgehog meta, man. If you can't move, people don't want to play you. Jinx, Zeri, Sivir, go fast.
Jamada came in yesterday in that Sonic the Hedgehog hoodie.
I've never seen a single adult man own so much Sonic merchandise in my life.
I thought the hoodie was sick, and then he took the hoodie off.
And there's a
t-shirt as
yeah,
well.
respectable.
This is class. But
that's fire. That's commitment.
Yeah. So Fresskowy going to go back towards the Ahri again. Orianna going to be taken on the upside here. I like the Ori as an answer. Does leave you a little bit vulnerable, but you can tend to push Ahri's catch waves, scale, and then again the onus falls back onto the Ahri to make things happen. But heading over towards the Alistar, it is good into the Sivir. Yep. Only the headbutt gets blocks as part of the combo, but yeah, I suppose you can end up banning away the Nautilus, and maybe you can still go for something like the Renata ban as well, because I think Renata could work out relatively well here with how short range GIANTX are. But there's the ban first.
Renata taken away. Makes sense. You highlighted it. You gave all the good reasons, all the good context. The Sylas taken out too. I guess they still like that matchup into the Ahri, or assume that that's a matchup they don't want to play against. I want to see where Jackie's is going to go, because I don't think it'll be Azir. There's a world where they save last pick for him, but I imagine it'll probably be for Odoamme. See what he can do. Maybe he'll have a spicier counter pick, although he is the kind of guy that will just pick Gnar into Renekton and call that a good counter pick.
I'm curious if it's the Nico angle. Nico could be the player for Jackie's where you lock it down, and then you've got great follow-up, and also you're going to be playing relatively short range here as Madeline's Koi because of the Sivir, so could be the angle.
Relatively. Clever. Okay.
Not a crutch word that you use all the time.
Yeah. Don't bring up crutch words. They'll come for me. They know.
It's game 6 at the end of a 4-day weekend. Crutch words are going to be there galore.
I'm crutch wording in game 1. You gotta understand.
That's who I am.
The Orianna, I think, obviously pairs nicely with the Alistar, but instead the Azir. Oh, man.
Shocked.
Based on game 1, this is not it. But again, in the meta, in terms of, this is the S tier of mid lane. The undisputed emperor of mid lane. There's a reason this champion is so high priority. It's
emperor of sure mid lane.
You are tired.
I am dead. I am so tired.
All right, Braum follow up there. Okay, nice to mitigate some of the damage. Also, you know, generally pretty solid. Good tools to punish with the Braum. Does commit the Rell to jungle, and now the blind pick top lane for Mrywn. The problem with the really intense, like, bassy music is that everyone on stage is laughing hysterically. Okay. Twisted Fate.
Yasuo, give it to me, Odoamme. Let's go.
People have been banning the Yasuo all weekend long against the Twisted Fate, or to protect a potential Twisted Fate pick. Please pick it.
It would be sick. If Odo has it, it's a great pick. You've already got the Alistar, you've already got a knock-up on Azir, and it's good in the matchup. This works
I like
as
this
well.
Too.
This works as well.
I like this too.
Okay.
Fist fight topside. That's what we want.
It's going to be a lot of pressure. So basically bot lane is going to be a bit of a snooze fest. Alistar can't engage, even though he's got into the Sivir, because Braum bot blocks it all. Braum can't really go forward because Alistar just knocks everyone away. So it just ends up being a nothing fest in that bot side. So I think this is where we're actually going to see a lot more pressure up towards that top end of the map. Fresskowy, as we saw in last game, should have push in mid, which will open up the opportunity to try and lean in towards that top side. And I think that's where we'll see a lot of the pressure to try and get this pretty volatile matchup going, swinging one way or the other.
Going to be explosive, and all I want to do is watch 2v2's topside. But I also know, deep down, that a lot of this mid to late game is just going to be a very fast Twisted Fate. Rell and Sivir sprinting at the side of GIANTX. And it's going to be tough for GIANTX to play this if we go late enough. Zeri's got tools to kite. Not everyone on GX has that luxury.
I would be more worried if you didn't have a lot of range on GIANTX. Jayce gets poke, Zeri gets poke, even Jackie's been able to poke with the soldiers. So it does make it a little bit more difficult for MDK to try and play around the TF in a team fight to counter the engage. But we're going to have to see as we're about to get in to game 3, do or die for MDK at GIANTX.
Woo! Let's go. Berlin, you've heard of the club going up on a Tuesday, but have you heard of LEC Studio? You know what I'm talking about? This is the place to be. 6 games. We spoke to a fan earlier today. We signed a thing. It was really nice. Nice guy. He's like, 6 games. We're like, yes. In my heart, I said, please 4. I like fast. I like fast. I like decisive.
The part of me that enjoys my bed.
He won. We get 6. Didn't get your name. I forgot. But we'll get it later.
He had a really nice necklace.
Really nice necklace. Well-dressed man. Talk to him.
He's sitting over there. He's actually over. Oh, he was sitting over there.
No, he moved. Okay, all right.
Maybe he's not even here.
Now he's not even here. Was he even real? Was it all a mirage?
We hadn't had the coffee yet, so potentially.
That's possible. Santa will return home. Alvaro looking to bring a present to the bottom side of the map. The present is Patrik not being able to play because Braum is a very powerful champion. If you look at a bot lane duo with scaling, other than like, yeah, the Smolders and the Sennas and the Infinite Stack champions, I feel like this has to be one of the best scaling duos in the entire game. Braum literally deletes an entire champion's or multiple champions' damage output with his E, and Sivir has Ricochet, which, as you have all probably realized over the many years of European League of Legends, hits hard.
Also, I think MDK have been one of the teams that are the best at playing around Braum and how busted he is at dodging a lot of that stuff. Because oftentimes see them opt in towards fights that are maybe number disadvantage or going for plays underneath the tower where it is very risky, but they have faith in Alvaro to block what he needs to, get in front of players, and to start up those concussive stacks onto the key targets. So I think Alvaro's been really, really impressive on this pick. I'm excited to see him bring it back out, especially into a matchup where he might be able to do a lot, as already Ignar feeling the business end of those concussive stacks.
Yeah. Of course, if Patrik gets ahead, he has a lot of power in the trades. Supa, though, has the Ghost. Of course, the Cleanse doesn't really do a lot against the opposing side. You have the Spell Shield already, so can match a lot of the movement speed that Patrik's ulti will provide. Is, of course, providing some as well. And Fresskowy already moving up. Again, diligent ward placement in the early game. We've seen it from both these teams, trying to track that early pathing.
Yeah, no surprise. This is the exact same that we saw last game as well. So essentially just trying to play off of, we feel comfortable with Fresskowy on mid, we feel we can get push, we play for level 6, and we play for side lanes. Traditionally, we saw it, at least in game 2, go down towards the bottom side, but with Ignar going to be able to hit 6, tank up, a lot of those charms, press the Unbreakable Will. Not really as big of an opportunity to try and play around that bottom side, and also Supa having short range just makes those a little bit trickier. So I'd imagine it will be trying to play around a gold card from Mrywn into the charm from Fresskowy, the lockdown from Elyoya, and just make Odo's life miserable.
Simplicity of the setup is nice to have. Gold card walks forward, wards the brush. Odo. Swap forms acceleration gate, can't afford to. Ooh, thinks that he can. Crash down, nice flash out. Good gank from Elyoya.
Peach is here now. That's a lot of damage onto Elyoya. Mrywn also losing that card means that that's his kind of way to keep Odo off himself.
I don't. Yep, Peach backs away. There's not really much of a play there. The health bars are just 2 in favor of MDK. And while Elyoya did lose a lot of health, he has the red buff. Has that additional healing. Now mounting up and walking away. Stun connects the flash back to safety. Hiding under his own tower. Mrywn just doesn't really have the burst damage, or doesn't have the damage at all to follow up and take out Odoamme there.
Odo should be able to reset off of this though. Tries to see if he can stop the backs, but Peach will be able to spot out exactly what is going on here for Elyoya. Fresskowy hovering the wings though, trying to support his jungler.
Ooh, off to the side, Jackie's gets a bit of poke here, but extra movement speed from the Foxfire, and Fresskowy will just walk away.
Elyoya had to abandon his top camps though, moving back down to this bottom side, because he didn't feel like with the health he's on, he was going to be able to stick around. Will just be able to clear out his own Krugs and then probably move over towards the Scuttle Crab that's up. So I'm curious what Peach's angle wants to be. He's going to take his own Raptors on the top side just before he goes into this bottom side. Looks like he is going to try and compete for the Scuttle Crab, but there is push bot side, so this could be a little bit risky for Peach. if Alvaro wants to get involved.
Definitely could be tricky. Miscalculation on a lot of these engages, especially against a champion like Braum, can cost you dearly. Peach will be able to grab the crab. Elyoya clearing out the Krugs here. Could go for a lane gank. Oh, but already they're trying to kick things off. Nice blocks from Alvaro to stop the follow-up damage. Supa sitting pretty, but now Peach is on the way in. Elyoya there as well. Supa has the flash. Alvaro has his too. I mean, good discipline from the side of MDK. Ignar thought he had the angle, but he did not.
Elyoya cancelled his reset as soon as he saw the engage on that bottom side, making sure that he was going to be in position because he guessed Peach was going to be on the way down. So nice job by Elyoya to read the play, get involved in that bot side, and then now Alvaro as well, outplaying on the flash away to keep himself in check. So nicely done by MDK to escape away from that. But Odo, this is what we're talking about. This is a matchup where if you can punish, it's going to be great for Odoamme, and constantly buffering that CC with the To the Skies from the Jayce is really well played.
Yeah, great ability name, by the way, very descriptive. Sorry, I have a personal vendetta against Jayce hammer form ability.
We had this conversation like 2 days ago.
Yeah, me, you, and Medic. You have to understand, Medic is also very upset because, oh, hold that thought. Gold card, Peach caught out, Fresskowy quick to punish. Oh, and we've been here before. Peach dying on the top side, isolated completely. Excellent pick coming through from MDK.
Mrywn had the TP to get back to lane, immediately uses that to get into position, and then able to shove in wave to collapse on towards Peach. So very, very strange faster play from Peach. No need to try and overforce that. He needed to wait until he had his lanes in favor, but just didn't want to go for it.
X flash from Ignar. Can't do much. But this is big. I mean, Rell has been so good, and now you have so many other tools to set up with CC as well. I just think the runway is so clear for MDK in this game.
The only downside is that they don't have that control on top side that they really want. Mrywn would like to get that push into, hey, maybe I can TP mid, we can look for playing Jackies or vice versa, but haven't quite got to see that rolling just yet. No real dragon setup as well for MDK. Means you're still looking at relatively decent scaling here for GIANTX when it comes to the later dragons. So if Patrik and Jackies can hold off on that, there's no real threat for GIANTX to commit themselves onto the map.
No. I am ready to see some playmaking from Ignar though as we get closer to level 6. Because this is a relatively passive kind of farm lane, he has been able to take the phase rush, which is obviously weaker in early trades because you don't have that additional tankiness, but post level 6 when you have access to the Unbreakable, you can zoom through these fights into the backline and really find optimal angles for the follow-up stuns, for the second round of cooldowns if the fight goes on for long enough. So very, very powerful rune choice, even if it is a bit more limited before you have access to the ultimate.
It's the only way you really get follow-up onto Supa as well after you use the combo, because once you hit 6, Ghost, ult, popped, you can very quickly run away from the Alistar. So definitely need the phase rush and that first tick of the E from the combo to get yourself into position, but Ignar, yeah. I think the problem is, if Ignar leaves bot lane, what do you do as Patrik? Because you're so vulnerable to Elyoya coming down, and Alvaro being able to tank up the tower, ton of CC. So you're heavily reliant on a lot of vision coming through from your bot into the mid river. But you just don't have control for Jackies, and you don't have an awful lot of control for Patrik and Ignar in that respect either.
It is definitely tricky. Patrik going to do what he can to push this wave forward. Peach has already started the objective. Elyoya, you can see, running into his own jungle. Might try to go for a steal here. Fresskowy has finally reset the mid wave. Do they want to go for the 4v4? Mrywn already walking down. Pushback is big onto Alvaro. An Unbreakable facing the wrong way. Needs a solid pick to start the objective. Elyoya still here. Ulti going to connect. Fall not quite going to come through. Excellent charm from Fresskowy to stop Ignar for going for the combo.
Ignar didn't use the Unbreakable will, could have, but looks like they want to try and hold on to it. So gonna maybe see Ignar get involved in a few more upcoming plays with that ultimate still available. Maybe even the tower dive, honestly, with the position they're in, but Braum gonna be a little bit behind the play, so not gonna try and go for too much, especially not knowing where Elyoya is.
Nice back cancel from Odoamme. Here you see.
Yeah, Alvaro just steps up to Grady. Immediate turnaround play. They didn't even hesitate. GIANTX, that's really good communication on the engage.
Yeah, pre-level 6. He finally has level 6. You can just immediately ult whenever you see the Azir dash forward and know that you're going to be relatively safe, but you just don't have any of those immediate disengage tools available to you at level 5. So a solid pick. And the gold close. MDK is still with a decent lead. A lot of that on the top side of the map due to the passive of the Twisted Fate, as well as that early kill in favor of Mrywn. But overall, still quite close. Definitely a different pace than our previous 2 games. Either side really with a substantial advantage.
Here's Ignar moving topside though. Void Grub's up in 20 seconds. Oftentimes we've seen GIANTX literally twice this series and a couple of times in regular split rotating Patrik up to that top side, but not really needing to because you already have Odoamme. Same idea, range carry that you can try and play around, but MDK defending well here. Getting control around this mid lane, using the fact that Fresskowy has that push advantage to re-establish vision in the river. And Mrywn slowly but surely starting to get that push out on top side. So looks like Void Grubs should be the commitment here for Madeline's Koi. And Ignar going to move in with Peach now to get vision bot and maybe look for the play, but Fresskowy trying to cover this.
Damage not really here for them to go in onto Alvaro. They have gotten priority access to the bottom lane, and Alistar dives are lethal. Can just start this off, can tank the tower, instantly is going to go in and do so. Supa's got no room to maneuver, excellent slow coming in for the Sejuani ultimate, now trying to run out to safety. Supa managing to make it away, Alvaro holding on. They just redive and kill him. There's no way, the flash. He's got, oh, the sidestep is so close. Patrik will at least get one, Supa just barely holding on.
Supa managing to just about get out of there, but it's still Patrik getting 2 kills now in his favor and some more turret plates. And what we've seen oftentimes is that these games have come down to big team fights, and Patrik having that early lead is going to be massive here. You already spotted that this was going to be coming, but unfortunately Supa and Alvaro, they think with the Braum, maybe we can try and hold on, but Ignar doesn't give the Braum a chance to get in position, immediately flashes, headbutts into the wall, waits for the pulverize to get the full duration on the CC, but even that's not enough as Supa with the ghost on the hunt is able to escape away, and Alvaro just doing what he can to delay the timer here on GIANTX.
And that was incredibly close to Supa going down. Good for the side of MDK that they don't give up more. GX obviously with the successful dive. Do find that kill onto Alvaro, his second death of the game. Now the static shift completed, a bit ahead of schedule for Patrik, but the Cole still stacking up for Supa. Alvaro, slow. Elyoya waiting around. Maybe they feel like they've got a big advantage here. No information for them on where Peach is. Could be the 3v3 bot side. Maybe they think they can capitalize with the flashes being missing. Ulti going in, double TP, triple TP, quadra TP! Wizard Season 8! Everybody coming down for the 5v5! Patrik gliding, sliding, trying to find the angle. The CC not connecting, he's still standing. All of MDK now retreating. What?
It's just Ignar that goes down though. MDK are able to get away. Jackie's, I wasn't sure if he wanted to go for the sliding glide, could still have the opportunity with the flash, but Patrik should be able to get the bot lane tower. MDK, how much are you willing to stick around? Jackie's over the wall still.
From Mrywn. Slow on a Peach. Just a single tower played in the kill. Tower play traded for kill. That is the first 5v5 bot lane double TP from both sides I think I've seen since like 2019 Fnatic.
And here I thought that maybe we'd get Ignar trying to go like punt people around the place with the headbutt, but ends up getting just locked down, can't really move anywhere. And Fresskowy's trying to play up to get damage onto Patrik, see if he can finish off Odo, but nice flash from him. Patrik now in a position where he can follow up, but here, I thought Jackie's would just go for slide, glide, flash, try and catch anyone with the ultimate, but again, this is your elimination game. This is the one that one mistake could cost you 10 weeks of being able to play on the main stage, so taking it slow, don't overforce, we'll take just the turret plates instead.
Credit to Peach in that fight, body blocks the charm for Odoamme. Forces Fresskowy to commit more. Ultimately, Odoamme does have to flash away, and Fresskowy is getting more and more scary. Malignant's there, about to hit level 11, does just now tick over, so second rank in the ultimate going to be a relatively low cooldown. Many more opportunities to be the playmaker for this lineup. But a decent lead for Patrik, holding on to that one.
Oh, Mrywn.
Mrywn caught out here. Stun going to connect eventually once the Alistar gets into range. Follow-up CC there from Peach. You don't even have Merc treads. Oh.
No, he's...
Okay, Faiz gets a bit more time, which means more time for his team to keep hitting on that topside tower, but does go down in the end, and Fresskowy forced out of mid lane.
Should be the trade on bot side, though, with the Azir there, so already had 3 of those 5 turret plates gone. Fresskowy, going to be a pain. But you still get Odo, who's going to be able to catch the top wave, but it will net MDK Rift Herald, so all said and done, as long as you can get value out of this Rift Tower for MDK, the opportunity to take mid tower could be huge for them in trying to open up this game for Fresskowy and Mrywn to start moving around the map.
A lot of good opportunities now with that extra space. Or what could be the extra space, excuse me. The Herald gonna get taken down. I just think breaking open mid in a game where both teams have very comparable win conditions, in this case scaling, even if some of the tools are a bit different, always is gonna feel good. Supa offers a boomerang blade in support for Elyoya in this trying time.
Ignar going to try and get vision on this top side. They were going to try and attack top lane turret with the next wave that's coming in from Odo. You even see Peach making his way up here. Mrywn doesn't realize it though.
Bone plating, stopping some of that damage. Odoamme going to back away as you see a few more members in mid lane. First items coming through for both top laners, and again, Mrywn still has the gold lead despite getting dropped down there, and Odo picking up that kill. Yeah. But for TF, of course, this doesn't... gold leads are kind of fake. He just gets extra money. He gets extra interest on his gold. He's just investing better.
The GIANTX are trying to keep track of where this TF is going. Odo moving in towards mid. They know that with the static shiv and the amount of CC that he can provide, he's going to murder people if they're able to get that opportunity for a pick. Also for Fresskowy missing on the map, so they wanted to make sure that there was no collapse from MDK on towards GIANTX mid lane. Now though, with TF being spotted, because of all that vision that Ignar set up on this top side, they're going to get top tower. So just making sure they don't overextend on mid wave should net them the turret. But look at Elyoya and Supa, they're trying to make the play on towards Jackie's on that bottom side. The thumbs
Jackie's
up.
Thumbs upping. He knows the play is coming. Herald's gonna get dropped. I think in a perfect world you want to use it mid, but want to get ahead of the play despite not really having a great wave to work with there. So this tower will take some damage, but all of MDK immediately backing off instead, setting their sights on mid lane and Ignar, who's just phase rushing, flashing, dancing his way out to safety. So thus far, 1-for-1 the turret trade. Bit of a fumble, I think, on the value that could have been for that Herald.
I would, usually I'd be like, hey, you're fine because you've got a TF and the Ahri to try and play side lanes to then play in towards mid with the numbers advantage that you gain, especially as you start to push in further in side lanes. But Odo is able to match a lot of the push that Mrywn has in a side lane. And as well, with the static shiv on towards Patrik, it's really difficult to build a big enough wave to actually threaten this mid lane turret. So I'm kind of curious as to how MDK want to try and push this forward, because you definitely have side into mid opportunities, but it's so hard to try and keep your waves alive to get this mid lane tower down. I think it's just try and play for a push on sides into maybe take mid turret off of Dragon being given over, but it's third Dragon for GIANTX, so even a team fight at the moment isn't a great chance for MDK to expand their lead.
Of course, for Patrik, has the 2 items completed, a spike that can be played around, 1 minute and 15 seconds until the next Dragon spawns. Soul point for GX. Hextech would be really big for a team like this, both Azir and the Zeri making the most out of that buff. Odoamme playing with a lot of respect, a lot of caution as MDK just continue to fish for these plays on side lane. And the 6th grub buff in this composition is doing so much work as Elyoya wants to kick things off. Fresskowy off to the side. Odoamme charmed up. Peach trying to get something done. Looking to take the mid laner out. Fresskowy down, but the tower has dropped in the meantime. Alvaro now going to get pushed away. 2 quick kills picked up, but what is the follow from GX? What else can they grab to swing this in their favor?
They're just going to try and cut them off. Again, Dragon in 35 seconds. All they need to do is keep them at bay. Ignar tries to get in behind, but the whole company follows. And now Patrik spots out Supa.
Just trying to stop the backs. I think Supa knows he's dead too.
Oh, he stopped it!
But he stopped Elyoya, but they don't know. But now they do! Odoamme picking up the first kill onto Supa. MDK, they get the tier 2, but it takes every one of their teammates getting dropped.
They can reset now for Dragon. There's no way that you can stop this. That's going to be 3rd Dragon for GIANTX, but this was just overextension. Watch Odo here. Knocks back Fresskowy, so Fresskowy can't really threaten Patrik under tower. But you didn't have Supa in a position. Remember that short range AD carry that we talked about? The threat under tower isn't there. And the rest of GIANTX are able to collapse with the TP coming through as well. So nicely done by GIANTX to punish that overextension from Madeline's Koi.
Very well played indeed. GX now control over the Drake, exactly what they wanted. Yes, they concede a tier 2, but they get so much gold back because of that fight. Patrik now at 2.5 items. Jackie's and Odo getting closer to their 2nd. 1.6k gold lead for Patrik. 5-0-1. This area is going to be terrifying. Now I feel like MDK are in recovery mode where they just kind of have to stall, buy time, get space.
But Peach needs to cover mid here. If you push in here as Fresskowy, right up to the inhibitor, you can then already see the vision control for Supa and Alvaro being established. So Ignar, kind of sole proponent here to try and cover, will shift Jackies up to cover and accept the wave on top side. But Peach playing to this bot side doesn't really net you anything. Yes, he steals away some camps, but it's giving chances for Mad Lions Koi to still get picks, still threaten this mid lane tower, and prevent the connection between Jackies and Patrik to hold the mid lane turret.
Crucial thing to do. Important to note, you saw in the gold graph there a moment ago presented by Santander, Patrik, the only member of GX at the top of the table. The other 3 slots belonging to the respective farming roles of MDK, Mrywn, Fresskowy, and Supa. So if MDK can find that pick, if they can take the Zeri out through the cleanse, through the defensive tools, it's very easy for them to win the fight. Patrik's the sole strong point.
You've got the cleanse for Mrywn ult into the gold card. Ignar booting Fresskowy out of the picture. Peach playing defense. It's really, and even if you do get past all that, Jackie's just sending you packing with the Azir ult. It's really hard as long as GIANTX are grouped to find those moments. And that's why you can kind of see both Fresskowy and Mrywn trying to shadow each other. They're like, look, we don't really win in a straight up just push together, but if we can push in on top side and then group somewhere, we can find the moment. But
double
now
TP.
Patrik overextended, or Jackie's overextended.
Top side, they just want to collapse on this Azir because while Patrik has so many tools, Jackie's does not. He tries to flash back. Knock-up is there. Immediate fall damage is not. Ignite now ticking. Mrywn coming over. Jackie's caught between everybody, but now it's Odoamme who's in trouble. It's absolute chaos. Fresskowy getting things kicked off. Elyoya on the chase. Odo should just be dead here. Pull back. Ulti committed.
And that's the play that you needed as MDK. Find the pick, and now you are sitting in front of Baron. Jackies doesn't have TP. I don't know if they spotted that he reset, but it looks like they're not going to try and go for anything. But you still get the window that you needed off of just finding moments to push in these lane advantages. Nicely played by MDK.
Good use of the resources they had available. If they pick off Jackie's there and get Odo, it feels like an immediate Baron start, but don't get it. And also, again, the opposite team, the Zeri, the Azir, the double sustained damage, a much bigger threat for the Baron.
And it stems back to the control that they got when Peach was in that bot side jungle. Alvaro and Supa get the vision the top side. You TP the TF in. He's then able to ult into position, but it could have been an okay play. You could have got away with it as GIANTX, but Odoamme just TPing in that little bit too far forward. And MDK still controls so much of that quadrant. You can kind of see it on his face. He knows that was a mistake.
I don't know what you're talking about, Rob. That's Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. It's always cold, always ruthless.
The rattlesnake.
We saw it in game 2, despite the loss. That solo kill. All right, Mrywn and the rest of MDK just clearing this wave out. And the flank, or the flank attempt from Ignar, but MDK are not going to walk up there. Instead, going to try to play through top. Alvaro has to be careful about stepping too far forward. Early force out on the Unbreakable.
Ignar spotted here.
If they start a fight right now while Unbreakable is down, they will demolish. But Alvaro has enough time to get the cooldown back.
Okay, so just gonna back away. Minute and a half until Dragon. That's gonna be the main protocol that we're looking at. They need to get control over this, well, I was gonna say MDK need to get control of these side lanes for the moment though, because GIANTX have actually pushed them back out. They're keeping multiple members in mid to keep control over mid and make sure mid tower doesn't go down ahead of it. And if it is coming to a fight, that's a 3-item Patrik that is in a really good spot. 2 items onto this Azir as well. We already highlighted how difficult it is to get access to Patrik. So MDK need to get creative as they approach this potential soul fight for GIANTX.
Rapid fire cannon for Mrywn maybe gives you an angle, but again, you've highlighted the cleanse. It's been so hard for MDK to just get any summoner spells away from this Zeri. Patrik playing so conservative until the time of the fight. Just looking to provide pressure, knows that he cannot afford to go down. This is going to be the arena. 35 seconds. GX, if they get this one, get the solo, and it feels so hard for MDK to come back.
Ignar marking Fresskowy in this bottom side, making sure they can't get position in river and look for a flank opportunity. As they also spotted TF on that bot wave. So GIANTX very aware of where MDK are, but now they're kind of separated.
Split themselves. Immediate engage. Jackie's dashes off to the side. They see their window of opportunity. Alvaro blocks all of the damage from Patrik. It's a thing of beauty, but it's not quite enough from MDK. Patrik locked up the charm coming in. Gold card, but Mrywn's on the wrong side of the wall. Connects it to red card. No! Not enough! Lock it, keeping Patrik alive.
A blue card was the only thing that would have killed Patrik there, but just not quite enough damage. But MDK got what they needed. They found that moment where GIANTX separate, and for a split second they get the control they need to deny the soul. May not be a kill, but MDK got what they needed.
Jackies with a thumbs up. MDK buy themselves more time in this game 3.
Wait a sec.
But GX want to up the pace.
Mrywn's bot, he's no ult and he's no TP. GIANTX, they're going to make the play. Look at Ignar as well. There's no vision on Ignar. He's in behind them.
So low. Fresskowy, MDK, they didn't reset. They spent too much time taking the objective. Finally, Mrywn is here, but those are so many low health bars. They need a steal. They need a miracle from Elyoya. Ignar off to the side. They're trying to peel back, but now immediately GX can just turn to focus the objective. They take it down Ignar, but GX are wearing purple. They need to get away. They need to get out with as many members as they can. MDK now on the hunt. Fresskowy waiting.
He has ult. He can get over the wall.
He has to wait. He just has to stall the backs. No, instead, MDK setting their sights on mid lane tier 1, but GX get the Baron.
A very risky call with elimination on the line, but it pays massively for GIANTX. Able to get the Baron at just the life of Ignar. They will lose mid lane tower as well, but this could be the control that they need. Now they can start to threaten onto the mid lane turret, have that little bit of extra sustain on the cannon creep to keep them alive, to get the structures. Peach, why do you have to spot out here for Fresskowy?
For Charm. Fresskowy going to be forced to ult at this point in the game, level 15. It won't matter too much.
That is reset though. And this gives the moment now to crack open the mid lane turret that can start to threaten onto tier 2. You don't have Mrywn and Fresskowy on the wave states that they need to be, which is threatening the map. So GIANTX have to reset. Odo going to be able to accept the bot wave. And now you're going to have to move Fresskowy back into the mid lane to try and cover here.
No cleanse on Patrik though. But Supa no mana. Still hasn't reset. MDK just concede the tier 2. Get your items on your Sivir. This is such a greedy hold. If Odoamme, but he isn't there. And that's crucial. Gives them a bit more space to slow this down, to fight for one more wave to keep that tower alive, but Odoamme does have the TP.
They're going to get the tower though. As you say, Supa didn't reset. And this is really good from GIANTX. Because you have the TP, they're just able to back away. Mrywn shows mid, which means that Odo now gets to push this wave into bot side. And now you can look to wrap around behind MDK and catch him off.
Immediate follow-up. Patrik now going to ult. Knockup not quite going to connect on Odoamme, but the gold card immediately goes on to Patrik, trying to stop the damage. Here comes Supa. Sonic the Hedgehog on the back line. Going to start to tear through. Going to start to clean up. The rest of the team setting him up. He knocks him down, and it's Jackies now getting TP'd on. The pushback as he buys a bit more space, but MDK stopped this Baron in its tracks.
Jackies wasn't with them. The whole shift hadn't come through, and MDK, they cut them off at the ankles as they try to move around. Now Madeline's Koi, they have the wave on bot side, and they're going to be able to get the tier 2. It's just Jackies, no ult. This is such a risky hold if he tries to keep this tower alive.
He's still walking up, he's got the Baron. Fresskowy with the flash. Could try to charm flash, but instead will take mid lane tier 2. He can only protect one lane. Ignar not going to be enough. Mad Lions will take the free objective.
And finally, we'll get the resets coming through on all sides. MDK will be able to get away, get back to their side lanes, and a very damaged front line from GIANTX. Not really there, but Odo just gets caught out with a great charm again from Fresskowy. These charms from him have been clutch in game 2 and 3. Odo falls, the charm for, or the CC from Mrywn onto Patrik without the cleanse. And even though the charm goes wide, it's a 1,000 gold shutdown to Fresskowy. And they're able to chase down multiple members here. Great play from Fresskowy again on this Ahri.
Clean pick. Follow-up, disengage ulti from Peach, whiffing completely as well. Just making things so much worse. Patrik is strong. He's a powerhouse, but he used to be the sole AD carry at 3.5 items. Now Supa's right there alongside him. A few more tools for Patrik. It looks like he wants a QSS as well. See where the Null Magic Mantle goes. But Supa's getting stronger and stronger. Only a 500 gold difference now separating them, but it's Fresskowy and Mrywn who are well ahead of their counterparts.
GIANTX needs to start putting pressure on towards the mid lane. You need someone to try and exit into topside to get that wave pushed out, and that's why MDK playing hyper aggressive on this wave. They know at least in theory someone has reset, and they'd be right with Odo and Patrik having gone back to base. But it looks like GIANTX don't care. This is going to be their hold. This mid is going to be where they make their final stand with 30 seconds until the soul. They don't want MDK to find that pick, to find the damage they need to on any of their carries.
Supa, engage connects, spell shield is there. Peach committing so much, but Mrywn threatening with the gold card, stops any potential follow-up. Patrik again, the focus. MDK got what they came for, the reset on the fight. They let the Zeri ult expire, and they know the dragon is theirs.
Supa needs to be so careful. There.
Scoop back. Supa getting away just barely. Ignar trying to find the angle. Spell shield still there. Elyoya on the retreat. Split from both teams. Incredibly messy, but at the end of the day, MDK going to get the dragon.
Jungler's dead. GIANTX, they invested everything into trying to make that play mid. They gave up waves on top. They thought that that was their time, but with going that little bit too far forward, Peach doesn't have the support of Jackie's. I think that was the play. Get Supa, immediate follow-up from Jackie's, and you can kill Supa, and then the damage just isn't really there for the squad. But it's not the case, and now bot lane tower will fall, and it'll be the punishment that GIANTX have to accept.
A minute until Baron. They stall recalls. No, not gonna get the chance. We'll see the replay now.
Look, it's a nice call from Peach. Flashes past Elyoya to get on Supa, but you needed the follow-up from Jackie's. But I don't think Jackie's wanted to commit because the positioning on Braum knew that chances are that Glacial Fissure would have interrupted. So I can get the idea, but just the execution not quite there from the rest of the team.
I just don't think... There's a phrase in Magic. You have to know when you're the beatdown. GX are not the beatdown. There is a Braum on the enemy team. You need to play the fight slow. You need to bait the Unbreakable, and you are not baiting the Unbreakable when you dive in with your body.
Yeah.
And thus everyone is there to one-shot Supa. It's just not a good call. Alvaro stops all potential follow-up, even if you are in position.
The flank though, the TP, Fresskowy, he wants the access to the back line.
Fresskowy going over, trying to find Patrik. The charm goes wide, they whiff, but they get a bit more space. Ignar has to disengage, and Fresskowy now on the retreat. Living for now, he'll be able to escape. Ignar getting lower and lower, but again, the re-engage from Elyoya. Patrik cut down Supa on a rampage. It doesn't matter who he hits, as long as he's hitting, baby. That's the ricochet.
The swoop and boop gets no one. The spell sheet from Supa keeps himself alive. And MDK, they manage to get the fight. Fresskowy plays distraction and nets the Baron for Mad Lions Koi.
Some people say Zeri did it better, but Sivir did it first, man, and you gotta respect that. Ignar with the flash. What is
They're
the
also
angle
low.
here? Fresskowy, back up. They didn't quite get the kill there. Odoamme in no man's land, gonna get picked off. Mrywn now on a rampage. MDK 6K ahead.
And it's just inhibitor turrets that deny MDK from closing out this game. Fresskowy, a great flank. The charm goes wide, but it doesn't matter. It draws Odoamme away. And even underneath the tower, you can see how deep Ignar's gone. Just about gets the knock up. But watch the re-engage. And Jackie's, as he goes in, goes for the swoop and boot, but the spell shield from Supa denies him access, denies Odoamme anything that he can get that hammer into. And you can see disappointment from Jackie's. He thought he might have had that moment.
Resigned acceptance to the way that fight played out. Mercurial Scimitar there for Patrik now, but I don't think CC is the problem anymore. Sivir is too damn strong. And if any of your front line get hit, if you are anywhere near the rest of your team, which you have to be if you want to live, Sivir will kill you. This is a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. You can probably win the 1v1, but in the team fight, you can't come out on top.
The wombo is still insane for GIANTX if they can find it. One moment, one engage from Ignar, one knockback from Jackie's, one crash down from Odoamme could be the end for MDK, but it's so difficult. MDK are not giving them a chance. They're playing off wave states. They know they've got that farm buff. So just play it slow, play for the towers, and stop that moment from GIANTX existing.
Baron has been the backbreaker for GX in this game. Both their own negative Baron power play. MDK is plus 2.4k at this moment. Play around those objectives, costing them so much. Play with the Baron buff, getting over eager. MDK cleaner in the clutch. And with the tools now to close this one out.
Slow play from MDK, get bot lane pushed in. Now Fresskowy has access to mid. The towers are being slowly chipped away at. GIANTX, do you wait out the Baron, a minute left, or do you just go for the engage? But it'll give access to Fresskowy on the side. Odo steps forward, loses half his health in return.
Keeps the inhibitor alive, crucially. Azir tower set up. Fresskowy taking a bit of extra damage, but MDK. GX committed too many resources into the mid lane. They can just walk in and take the objective, and again, it's a flying TP there. If GX want to make a play, but the 6 grubs picked up earlier by MDK just continue to pay off, and how quickly they can shred through these structures.
Oh, Odo tried to interrupt the back there, trying to desync MDK, maybe get the pick that they need. 30 seconds now until the dragon. MDK, they did some damage, but having the inhibitor still standing mid means that Odoamme is able to push out that bot wave and stop the super creeps from really being an issue now for GIANTX. But you do have to be careful as you invest too many resources on bot side.
They're not very quick to try and punish here. They don't have perfect information. They don't feel confident to step up. If they get this, if they get Soul on the side of GX, maybe they have a bit more hope. But Patrik already getting chunked out. Patrik isolated. They pushed Fresskowy back, but they've left the rest of their carries vulnerable. MDK pulling back beautifully. Fresskowy just continues to linger in the darkness.
Oh my god, Odo's health.
I mean, the poke is so ruthless. They're trying to collapse on Fresskowy. Ulti goes in, he just dashes to safety. MDK immediately used the Sivir ult and now are looking to punish. Supa staying so far back, does not want to get scooped, does not need to do much of anything else. Patrik already ulting, but it's a TP from behind. But what is the Jayce going to do on the flank? Shockwave could be big, does good damage onto Fresskowy. Odo wants to bring this back, but still Supa untouched. They're playing it so slow, they're playing it so patient, and they're punishing.
Supa, what can you do?
Shattering strike, the Q, the slow. Odoamme just going to get shut out. MDK playing it beautifully. They have a wave in the bottom lane. The TPs are coming in. This is going to be the last stand for GX. Mrywn stepping up. Gold card there. Jackies gets enough space. Patrik is still up. There's still hope.
It's crumbling though. 3v5. GIANTX need the play and Elyoya goes!
Unbreakables here. Patrik skating out to safety, but the stun car still managing to connect. They're just focusing on the objectives. Patrik doesn't have enough time to shred through the team. Jackie's trying to go in, trying to scoop, but Supa's just going to shred that health bar. Double kill for Fresskowy. MDK are moving on. GIANTX are getting sent home.
That was such a hard-fought fight. MDK play it slower. They find those moments where GIANTX misstep, and they manage to get the game across the finish line. The late game scaling on the Sivir, just way too much in those later fights.
Absolutely. And I think it's just so hard to play against a Braum and a Sivir together, right? The amount of space these champions can create, how hard it is for Patrik to ever really hit once they get that far. Of course, your Kia player of the series, you can head on over to @LEC on X, Elyoya, Fresskowy, or Supa.
Honestly, I was going to say Fresskowy's Ahri. Holy crap.
Yes.
The charms at key moments when you need him to step up were incredible. The one onto the AD carry in game 2, the one onto Odoamme in this game 3 when they're sieging the tier 2 tower. Massive, massive plays from Fresskowy across this, and nets themselves that opportunity to face off against Vitality now next week with, I don't know, that was nuts.
Yeah. One day at a time, brother. Great stuff from MDK to bring this series back. Need to keep going further. It's all about the race for finals, for MSI, for Chengdu. That's what's on the mind of all these players. Every single interview we read, we want to go to MSI. We want to be the top. We want to contest G2. Every single team is saying it, but so many teams aren't even going to get the shot. 2 of them got sent home today. GX and SK. We'll see how much further MDK can go. It's a tall task, right? Every team in our league right now is messy. They're vulnerable. It's all about just who shows up on the day.
I mean, even who shows up moment to moment. So much of these games and throughout the series today wasn't defined by who was better overall. It was defined in a moment. And I think that's what makes it so clutch for these players, is that any one of them can stand up. It can be a rookie in both cases here today that really make the difference in a world full of veterans.
Yeah. And speaking of someone who's incredibly clutch and a rookie, let's send it down to Fresskowy.
Thank you guys so much. What a fantastic day for you, Dagda and Drakos. 6 games back-to-back. You've got some well-earned rest. And of course, some well-earned rest for you. Congratulations, Fresh. Before we dive into this series, deep breath. Give me your feelings right now. That was a tense series.
I mean, I was pretty calm in the game, I'm not going to lie, but the game was pretty shaky. I'm not happy with our performance today because, again, I think we underperformed heavily. But in the end, we managed to stay calm somehow in the game, and we come back. So I'm happy that we win in the end, but there is a lot of work to do still. So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to keep our ramp up in playoffs.
Something that didn't happen necessarily a lot today is that we know you guys are so dominant in the early game, and your early games looked shaky. However, a lot of teams, when they have shaky early games, they just tend to go for more late game, we're scaling, take your front to back, pick your tanks over in the top side. Your top side on that last game was so creative, the TF, the Ahri. What made you guys resort to that?
I mean, in general, I think Ahri is pretty strong right now. I think TF also is like safe blind, so those picks are kind of good blind picks, so that's why we went for it. I think we could have abused even more with our ults and our like map pressure in general because we have all the tools, but we were kind of afraid, I would say, in some moments in the game. But again, I'm happy that in the end we managed to win it. So.
I'm glad you talked a little bit about Ahri being a very safe blind pick because Azir has been your most played champion in your entire career. Super positive win rate. However, you resorted to go for the Ahri back-to-back. Does that free you to play with Elyoya a little bit more? Because it felt like in game number 1 that Javan was kind of hovering the map a little bit alone, but the second you got your hands on the Ahri, the entire map changed.
Yeah, I mean, basically, with the Ahri pick, you can do way more things in the early game. I think Azir is a pretty strong champ, but you need more levels and more items to be more useful. I just wanted something that has more tools in the game so I can impact the map way more, and I think I didn't do it as much in the early game, but in mid game and late game I did it more, so I'm happy. So that's why.
Fresh, who do you think would be player of the series in this one? You can choose anyone in your team.
Maybe Supa. I think he did solid performance, so I would say Supa.
You wouldn't pick yourself?
In some moments, yes. In some moments, no, I would say.
Well, wake up, because you were absolutely clutch in the last 2 games and you won Player of the Series. Congratulations, Fred. Never ever underestimate yourself. You've showed your caliber of player that you can be on this stage. And now moving forward, Mad had a fantastic lower bracket run over in winter. You witnessed it firsthand. Are we expecting the same thing right here?
Yeah, I mean, we're all expecting that as well. Like, the bracket is also like very similar or almost the same than like last split. So I hope we can make it the same, but this time win it in the end. I think we have a good shot on it. I think we can do it for sure. We just need to step up like mentally because I think we're underperforming still heavily on the stage, but I'm confident we can win it all, yeah.
I really hope this best of series will give you guys the confidence that you do deserve to move forward. Congratulations again, Fresh. We're going to throw it over to PGL where Laure and Eragon are joined by Alvaro.